Hello, and welcome to Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, and I'm joined here by my two co-hosts, Corey and Dan. Let's start with Corey, who just got a fresh, beautiful new haircut, looking extra handsome today. Corey, how the hell are you?
Doing pretty good. Had a solid day of work coming off of a long weekend. Hit the gym, got a haircut. It's, very productive day overall.
Yeah, and you're looking extra handsome with that haircut, bud. Good for you. And we are, of course, joined by...
Pounds of hair.
We are, of course, joined by Dan Gill with his beautiful sunglasses, just absolutely rocking it. Dan, how's your day going?
Beautiful. Nice to go back to work to no power. but we made it through.
Straight up shutdown over there with the power, huh?
Yeah, I spent like the first hour and a half without power today.
Yeesh. That's kind of productive.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the sunglasses thing also.
Oh, nice. Hang on, I got a pair too, which I'll show
It's gotta be a trend.
All right, I'll be right back. You guys.
Let's do the sunglasses episode.
Dude, it just needs to be a thing every week. Get different pairs. Just rotate everything through.
Well, I got two pairs I can rotate. I got these,
All right.
live here, and then occasionally get involved. And then I got my my driving pair, which just live in my car. So I can rotate between.
Yeah, that's my problem too.
Same.
That's all I got.
I also have many pairs. I think this pair is actually Richard's, but there's now in my possession.
Hey, Richard's not here to defend his glasses, so they're yours now.
Exactly. Well, folks, we got some great sports here for you. Hopping right into the old MLR, your favorite sport that we cover, of course. Today we saw the San Diego Legion. Over the weekend we saw San Diego Legion absolutely destroy the Portland Ironworkers. I got a couple of those highlights pulled up just because I wanted to show you guys some proper ball handling. So you'll see this first play. You guys seen this?
Yeah.
Look at this ball handling, man. This is why San Diego Legion is number one in the league right now. Those passes, pure crisp, pure class, and look how fast this defense is, this offense is. Who can stop this? Nobody. It's so fast. It's so beautiful. These passes don't miss. New York had a little bit of a response themselves, but as you can see, they were already pretty down when they finally started to wake up in the second half. Too little, too late. Nice play here by 14. Look at the dummy fake. Oh, no, just kidding. Goal for myself.
To the line.
Beautiful play by 14 there. But the Ironworkers...
You trust that your boys are there, huh? Like, it seems like they'll give it a little glance before they chuck it, but they're just kind of like, yeah, no, what? My man's there. He didn't get tired and take a breather.
Well, that's why there's a lot of yelling and communication in rugby to let your boys know where you are, so they know what's going on. But so a little fight out of the Ironworkers, but overall they cannot compete with this Legion. But then again, who can compete with such reckless hit? Watch this pass. What?
Legion
What?
Looking to reclaim that try.
Beautiful pass.
So, is that this 14 fucked up? Like he bit on the inside?
I was actually thinking that too when I saw this play. Like look at this guy. He's way out of position. Let's watch this. So
he sees the ball.
Bam! Right here. So I guess he does have to cover this. But theoretically, he should have communicated with this guy right here and told him, you get that guy, I got to go cover this outside wide guy, because, how do you leave him this wide open? And where's the fullback? The fullback's nowhere close.
How would he assume, how do you know that dude's back there,
Well, he knows. Before the play happens, you're looking around, you're seeing where your teammates are.
Because you're supposed to mark off on your opposition.
Absolutely. So that was definitely miscommunication on the Ironworkers defense there, which led to this try, but it was a beautiful pass. It was so deep and long.
It looked like it's going for the one guy, and he just is like, psych, I don't want that shit. And lands right on your man.
And the other thing is, look at this fullback. What are you doing way over there, man? Come on now. What is going on? You're so far away from the play. You're not going to do anything way over there. So definitely a drop ball here by the Ironworkers. This is coming off of a scrum too, or a line out. So it's not like they're caught off guard or this was some long run. So pretty disappointing performance. If you're a New York fan, you can't be happy with that overall. Another game that took place this weekend was obviously Chicago and the Houston SaberCats. Chicago took the early lead, but then they proceeded to get their asses kicked, and they were doing dumb stuff like this all day.
Advantage to the house, to the booth.
Nice
They go a little
booth.
chip over Cardi.
Right to the other team. And where's the defense? People stopping, people looking, people talking to the ref. What are you doing?
The guy.
Look at 17. So look at 17. Look at 3. My boy McLean is the only one running here. Like, what are we doing forwards? Don't talk to the ref. Go tackle that guy.
The guy that the ball was intended for. He's like, what the fuck? Instead of, like, making a play. Like, back it up a little bit.
I mean, he's kind of beat because he's right there on the line, and I've been there when you throw an interception. There's not much you're going to be able to do in that case.
Chip over Cardi. Oh, what a play, Luke Cardi.
Yeah, no, he definitely, they all looked for the ref. They all were talking to the ref. Like, what are we doing, boys?
What is
Throws it right into the head.
I guess
they're looking for an offsides.
Offsides or something, but it doesn't matter, dude. 17 should be embarrassed. 3 should be embarrassed. What are you guys doing?
Why would it be offsides on an interception? Like, he's not allowed to be there? Like,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, why would it be offsides on an interception?
Yeah.
No, this is purely pretty tragic.
Are they yelling at the ref or at the dude who threw the interception?
No, they're yelling at the ref looking for an offside.
They're yelling at the sir, yeah.
They're looking for an offside. But my boy McLean is the only one who's actually trying to play rugby. Like, don't talk to the ref.
Hey. Look at number 5 in the corner. He's moving too.
Yeah, 5's moving. My boy up here in the corner is moving too. But, like, these two who actually have a chance of making a tackle are too busy talking to the ref. Like,
number 2's, like, patting that guy on the back. He's like, oh, man, we're fucked, aren't we?
I mean, I think they're coming off a line out. But, yeah, it's messy, Chicago. Come on now. But that said, dude, Chicago battled back. Like, they were down a lot in this game. And they battled back. And look at this. Coming off a penalty. Quick pound out to our boy 15 on the corner here. Quick broken tackle, overrun somebody else, put it down for a try. That 15's been pretty good this season. But Chicago actually battled back in this one. They tied it up 33-33. Unfortunately, they gave up one more try to Houston SaberCats there at the end. This game ended 38-33. As a Hounds fan, though, I was happy to see this result. The SaberCats are a good team, so it was really impressive to see them battle back from 33-7 at one point. So they hung in there, they kept on fighting, and they did find some daylight, but just stupid mistakes like that are why, they're only a one-win team.
Strategy there. Because so if he didn't break that tackle, he would have turned over the ball, right? Because there's 2 of them there, and he's the only one. So really fast. So that's a ballsy strategy.
Definitely.
We trust you to break that tackle and get that try, my dude.
I mean, yeah, you got to take risks in these kinds of sports. I think my sunglasses may be a little bit crooked. It's kind of bothering me.
Okay.
Let's hop into some of these results. So obviously San Diego Legion takes care of business against the Ironworkers. They remain the number 1 team in MLR. I don't know who's going to catch them, Dan. Maybe the Utah Warriors, who took care of business against Rugby Atlanta. Rugby Atlanta absolutely reeling since their first couple years here in MLR, where they played better. This has not been their year so far, huh, Dan?
No, I mean, right now, it was huge that Houston and Utah won. Because I guess over tiebreakers, Utah is holding that last playoff spot in the West. But they're tied with Houston at 43 points. The best chance is probably Seattle, who's 5 points behind San Diego. But even then,
yeah, I'm
not betting.
No, it seems like everyone is struggling to keep up with the Legion. I don't know who's going to be able to beat those guys. Speaking of your DC Glory, they sort of hung in there with the Seattle Seawolves. But Seattle's a powerful team, and they continue to show it, huh, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, that probably went about as expected.
Right.
I was hoping for a better showing, especially for a team that's trying to hold on to the playoff aspirations. I mean, they're still second in the East, so
everyone in the East is struggling. So
yeah, by standings, they're in a comfortable spot when it comes to that. But Atlanta is.
They've dropped like 3 games in a row now.
Yeah. Atlanta is like 5 points behind, or 6 points behind DC. So I mean, it's a tight race going down here.
Yeah, they need to get it together if they're going to be able to win this or get into the playoffs. I mean, which would be nice to see, coming back from being arguably the second worst team in the MLR last year to now having a legit chance at the playoffs. Still good to see.
Yeah, I think they went 13-3 last year, or 3-13. Sorry.
Right.
Last year, so huge turnaround by any measure.
Man, they do a lot of games for as few teams as there is in this league. Kind of crazy. They're doing 16 games. And then, of course, the Free Jackets just continue to absolutely maul anybody who they play against. I don't know if anyone's – that's another team that's going to be very interesting. I'll love to see them in San Diego in the final, which it very well might be, because they are just absolutely rolling over teams right now. I mean, they've scored 107 points in 2 weeks. Pretty good, man.
Yeah. They're just a tough team to beat right now.
They're a tough team to beat right now. The Toronto Arrows still looking for answers. They have been at the bottom of the MLR for a couple of years now. Doesn't look like they're going to get out of the basement this year.
No, and it's going to be a crazy last 3 weeks here as we crash down on the final three.
Yep, it should be a very interesting final and playoffs for sure, because these are all competitive games. The Legion aren't exactly destroying teams like Utah or Seattle Seawolves, so that should be interesting. Hopping into a little bit of football action here, boys. So we got. But before we do that, does anyone have a non-sponsor sponsor today? All right.
I mean, I could make something up. Let's see. I have for you.
The fine people of Sports by Compian.
Fine people of Sports by Compian. Gatorade.
Wow.
I have recently become a weekend drinker, meaning that whenever I'm thirsty, I can't just drink beer. Turns out that's actually really healthy to not just drink beer anytime you get thirsty. Who knew?
No way. Weird.
But
there's a lot of water in beer, so are you sure that checks out?
I mean, I don't know. I thought it was good. I was like, this is tons of hydration. I'm never thirsty.
Right.
Except for in the morning whenever I'm really thirsty.
Oh, weird.
But so I've been drinking a shitload of Gatorade. I buy the 24 packs, relatively cheap. Go through about 2 of them a day. There was briefly a concern about maybe I'm drinking way too much salt because Gatorade has a shitload of sodium.
And a lot of sugar.
Not as much sugar as you would think. Well, 15 grams. So that's quite a bit of sugar, yeah. But
not
sodium
as much,
is only 110 milligrams. So it's 6% of your daily intake. If I drink 2 of these, that's only 12% of my daily intake. Totally healthy, totally fine, I'm assuming. Especially since I work out pretty much every day. So I feel like I'm sweating out a bunch of salt.
For sure.
And, Gatorade, it tastes good.
Gatorade,
it's
man.
Not the worst thing ever.
It is absolutely some good stuff. So hopping into a little bit of USFL action, we saw another productive week out of the boys. Did we cover week 6? I don't think we did. We?
No.
Oh, well, let's briefly go over.
No, we didn't. We didn't do it last week.
Well, let's briefly go over that then. We didn't really see any of this. So the Maulers actually got shut out, which was kind of surprising to see. They had been playing some good football up to that point. The Memphis Showboats find a way, though, 22-0. Absolute blowout over there. The Stallions took care of Panthers. That wasn't
my pick for the upset of the week, though.
No? What was your pick for the upset of the week?
That was mine, yeah.
Oh, that was your win. Oh, okay. Wow. Well, then you were absolutely right about that, it turns out.
Good
and
call.
then we had the Michigan Panthers drop their 4th game in a row to the Birmingham Stallions, 27-13. And then this was a bit of a surprise. We saw the Philly Stars go ahead and get their lives together and win a game against the Breakers, 16-10.
Yeah.
Breakers kind of struggling on offense over there, it looks like, huh?
The Breakers are the guys that have the Canadian quarterback, no? We did
the highlight on our board, Bethard. I don't know. He's been throwing a couple interceptions. He leads the league in passing yards, but he has had a lot of costly interceptions so far. So hopefully he can figure that out. Corey, your New Jersey Generals are looking for answers this season, and they have not found it so far. The Houston Gamblers went ahead and beat them 16-10. They are struggling over there. I guess they need to give the ball to their boy Victor more often.
Exactly. Got to give the ball to Thunder Thighs. Let him handle it.
Got to give it to Thunder Thighs. What are they doing? But the Gamblers... Sorry, go ahead.
How are you going to stop 2 tree trunks running at you, bro? Like...
How are you going to stop it?
You can't uproot 2 trees at the same time.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
Gonna suck too much.
Definitely the biggest thighs in USFL football for sure. But headed into the Week 17 matchup, obviously a great one between the Stallions and the Breakers, a classic one. I hope this is going to be a good rivalry. The Breakers took Game 1, but Game 2 goes to the Stallions. Once again, the Breakers' offense is struggling to find their way. Honestly, blocked for their quarterback. They had a blitzing linebacker, the Stallions, who got our boy Bethard twice, within 2 drives, and they are just a last minute Hail Mary from Bethard was not enough. Breakers are struggling here. You know what? They also failed 2 3-point conversions. So if they could have figured one of those conversions out, they might have been able to take this game, but not the case.
I mean, that's their 3rd straight loss. I mean, they started out so hot.
Yeah.
And now they just slid the last 3 games.
Looks like it. They need to find some answers here because the playoffs are coming up. Got to figure it out. But another game that was actually quite interesting was the Stars versus Pittsburgh Maulers. This was a very close game throughout most of the day. The Stars looked like they were in control for most of the game. We did see a nice kickoff return by the Maulers. I was just talking to Dan about it before the pod. Dude just runs right up the middle, and there was absolutely nobody there besides the Stars kicker, and he just gave him a nice little stiff arm and continued on with his day. But, the Maulers did show some signs of life, did show some signs of fight. Not enough to go ahead and win this game against the Stars, who their offense was cooking. I think their running back ended up with 3 touchdowns.
So, is the Pittsburgh their home stadium in Ohio?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, we've been over this. So they only are played at 3 different locations. Is it, Dan, or is it 4?
4. No, it's 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jersey and Pittsburgh play in Ohio.
Gotcha.
Okay. Damn,
But
that kind of suck for Jersey.
It's not great overall. We don't know what the heck they're doing with this whole thing.
I mean, Philly's
stay there.
Well, Philly's home venue is Detroit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's who they share. That's what they share. So
that makes sense.
Real smart stuff going on over there with the USFL.
But I guess as the player, you just go and you just rent a place for the season to go to practice and stuff. It's not like you're driving every Sunday from Jersey to
who knows, man. These guys want to be with their family, so who knows what they're doing.
But this is why I think the XFL is doing a lot better.
Yeah.
Than the USFL in terms of ticket sales and attendance because
home fields.
It's very I can't say for the Ohio games because technically none of them are their home team, but when Memphis plays at home, when Birmingham plays at home, when Michigan plays at home, the attendance for those 3 teams is does really well. But if you have New Jersey at Philly in Detroit, those teams no one goes to.
Right? Who the heck's gonna go to that? That's a great point, Dan.
So I think that's where they're hurting in terms of you have half of your league that isn't building a market in their city they quote unquote represent.
Right. No, yeah.
You're just arbitrarily assigning them a place where these players, they're from Florida, they get drafted to the New Jersey Generals, and they go play in Ohio. It's what the fuck?
Who wants to go to Ohio?
Right. One more thing I was going to say about that Breakers game is that their kicker actually hit a 55-yarder, which right down the uprights too. It was a nice kick. So whoever that kid is, he might be getting a call this off season for them. So
I think the XFL quarterback from the Defenders, I think he got drafted. I think he's over there with the Packers.
Oh yeah, Tango Tuba. What's his name?
Tiamu.
Good for him. He had a good season, so it's good to see him get an opportunity. But then, as Dan mentioned, the Showboats are rolling right now. That's a 4-game win streak for them, huh, Dan?
Yeah. We were making jokes earlier this year, because they started out 0-3.
Right.
But they've seemed to really turn it around, and you know what? Maybe they are a team to watch out for.
Could be. They had some good quarterback play throughout this game. The Gamblers couldn't seem to find the end zone when they needed to. They kept on kicking field goals, and that kind of stuff will come back to bite you, huh, Dan? You guys score touchdowns. It's football.
You got to score touchdowns, but it puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
For sure.
To hold the other team to just field goals or nothing.
Right.
If you're only putting up 3 points to drive. So, yeah, you're right. It's going to catch you one way or another.
But good for sorry, go ahead.
I was spreading fake news. It definitely isn't Tamu. It's actually their punter, Daniel Wellin.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that the other week, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So, Tamu is still free agent, as far as I know.
Go after him, boys.
I just Googled it, couldn't find it.
And then we also had the Michigan Panthers went ahead and finally found a win after their hot start of 2-0, and they just continued to drop 4 games in a row. they find a win. Unfortunately, it is against our New Jersey Generals, who are definitely still looking for answers. I don't know what's going on with the Generals this season, but they can't seem to score enough points to win games, is what it comes down to, huh?
Yeah, no, they just don't.
Points.
And honestly, great game out of the Michigan Panthers quarterback, Mr. Love. I forget his first name, but he had a pretty decent game against the Stallions the previous week. And this week he put up three touchdowns against the Generals. They couldn't seem to stop them on offense. Just some bad coverage. Like, what are the touchdowns? Like, if they're in cover 2, and you just see the safety absolutely bite on an inside slant and leaves their tight end wide open on a go route. It was just the easiest touchdown pass I've seen in a while. Like, you don't even see, I mean, I'm sure you see touchdown passes like that in college, but, like, holy heck, man. What are you doing, safety? No. You can't be biting on that.
Well, I mean, I watched some of that game, and, you know, I saw it in the XFL, I've been sitting in the USFL, and they had a guy come out of the slot and, you know, cut across the field. They hit, like, I mean, beautiful pass. He stood in there and just took a shot, but rifled it right over the middle. And the Jersey guy, you know, they probably would have got the first down, but there's no reason he shouldn't have tackled him. Instead, he just, like, you know, pulls his arm in and drops his shoulder and tries to shoulder him over. And the guy bounces right off him, and he breaks off for a touchdown. And I'm like,
well, yeah, I think that's all that play.
Can nobody wrap tackle anymore? Like, I'm sorry, it's non-existent. And if you're trying to make an NFL team, like, that shit will not get people's attention for the right reasons.
For sure. But honestly, I was going to say that.
He bounced off 2 guys and was gone.
I was going to say, though, that's not an exclusive problem to the USFL. You see DBs doing that in the NFL all the time.
Oh,
like,
no, I see the
Trayvon Diggs do it. It's fucking sad because he'll whiff. He'll, like, I saw his videos kind of dunking on Trayvon Diggs and why we shouldn't sign him, and I was like, hey, calm down. We need Trayvon Diggs. But basically, he was saying, like, he avoids contact. Like, he's great in coverage. He's great at picking the ball. But when it comes to, like, making contact, he sometimes shies away from it. And I have seen that where, like, well, I mean, I saw it in games, and also I saw in this video where he would go and he would, like, tuck away and just kind of, like, throw his shoulder and miss because the guy would just kind of, like, dodge while he was looking away from the hit. And it was, like, 2 or 3 plays that this happened on.
Yeah, no, I mean, by no means am I saying that it doesn't happen in the NFL. And you just, you know, I don't know if it's just a little more obvious with these leagues. I don't know. Right. But it's just, you got to wrap. You know, that's why I think we've had this conversation offline. I think that they need to adopt the wrap rule that's similar to rugby, where, I mean that, and also, I mean, this is completely irrelevant to the fact what we were just talking about, but like, you know, like you see these guys that they're bringing them down, like 4 more guys jump on top of them. like, come on, guys. Like, I think he's down.
But also, good game out of that Michigan. I think it's the guy who bounced off of that tackle, that Michigan wide receiver, long hair. I think he's 18. He's been their stud over there, and I think he had like 2 touchdowns or like at least multiple receptions. He's looking real good over there for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think it's Joe Walker is his name. And I mean, yeah, it's second year USFL. I think they said he played 1 year in the XFL.
Okay.
But they said he was actually a converted quarterback.
He kind of looks like it. He's a little bit undersized, but he's flying around out there and playing some fine football.
He is so fast.
So fast. He's like out running a lot of people. It's pretty crazy. I think. And
they did say that your boy Tree Trunks over there eclipsed the 1,000 rushing mark, and for his career in the USFL, so he's the first in the modern USFL to do that, apparently. I saw that this morning.
Nice. I mean, it took him 2 seasons, so that's not great, but still, let's go.
Well, they don't have as many games.
Right.
You might have to get Tree Trunk's jersey there.
Maybe. But he
all those jerseys cost, right?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, man. These people charge out the heck for a lot of stuff. I was surprised with the Hounds jerseys, dude. They wanted $100 for the Hounds jerseys. I was like, what?
Let's check it out. See if hit the shop right there.
To me, that's not bad though.
It's not great either, though, Dan. Like, come on now.
Yeah, but most NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLBs are going for like, you know, $180 to like $300.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good
point.
point.
All in all, it's not terrible.
No, you're right. I guess it's not terrible, but
I got to get the defenders. Corey's got to get a Generals 80 bucks.
Adult, so it's 90.
90.
Adult,
Ah,
90.
word.
No.
Not
He's got to
terrible.
rep the Schmedium.
Medium.
Schmedium. Yeah. Where
Well,
to the gym?
There you go, fans.
Ooh, I do need hoodies, and the hoodie is cheaper than a jersey, so.
That's actually the same price.
Hoodie world.
This is the long sleeve shirt is 60. It's 70, 65. You can get a nice little zip up for 77. But at that point, you might as well go hoodie. I prefer the zip down the middle hoodies.
Oh, like the quarter zip or the full zip?
Yeah, full zip actually. Full zip for me for sure.
I feel like a hoodie is something you're going to use in your day-to-day life, whereas a jersey is something you can only wear in a specific situation, or you're just a douchebag walking around in a jersey, you know?
You're not wrong. It's definitely.
Just do
I do that? Walk around in jerseys at inappropriate times? Absolutely.
100%.
100%. But yes, I do take your meeting, Corey. That's a good point. But yeah, dude, these Generals need to figure it out, man. They were so good last year, and now they are 2-5. Like, come on, boys, get it together.
And I mean, this kind of goes back to a conversation we had. I think when we were doing the player profiles with the XFL, USFL guys, with the people that get signed out, are they free agents? If they don't get signed, they get cut. Where do they go? But then, did that much talent get pulled out of there last year from the USFL that, that many people got signed off of Jersey that it, I don't want to say disrupted the balance of the team, but
that's a good point, though. Absolutely.
I thought they would redraft every year because if you won, chances are you lost the majority of your roster. So you're great one year, you lose everybody, and you got to rebuild.
No, they do apparently.
They do, yeah. I think they had their draft in March.
No, but I mean let's say the Chiefs. If the Chiefs lost all their best players because they won, so they obviously had good players. If all their best players left and then they had to replace all that talent in the draft, they would kind of be fucked. So I thought they would just totally reshuffle all the teams and start fresh. But I guess you do want to maintain some level of team unity, team cohesion.
Yeah, I think that would be tough to basically redraft the entire league every year.
Right.
Especially if in the XFL's case, where you actually play in the cities, you're making those people the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
So then if that Jordan Ta'amu is only your quarterback for potentially 1 year.
Yeah, why would you buy the jersey?
It's well, not only that, it's not even the jersey part. It's how do you have them work with campaigns to be come to Defender games? If
that's a good point.
All these people are about to be gone.
And also, they're talking about merging the leagues. Are the Generals going to be around 1 more year, and then this league joins the other league, and the Generals are no more? There's.
Oh. That's a whole other video.
That's a whole other pod we got planned. But yeah,
it's very chaotic at this point. What is happening with this league?
For sure. But
I did read that the USFL is in the budget for 24, so it's happening. Fox put it in their budget for next year, so I don't think there's any question of if they're going to be around next year. So maybe 25, 26 is where you could see a potential merger. But the question is there enough talent for both leagues to survive? And truthfully, if you merge them, but here's the thing: if you merge them, you're kind of in the same spot because you still have the same amount of teams.
True.
You're just all condensed into one. So, but yeah, no, you're right. It's if they do merge, which teams stay, which ones go.
Well, I think it's actually pretty simple. But once again, that's a whole other video, which we will get into at some later point. The last point I wanted to say on that was, this is the more established league, arguably, since the XFL only did half a season during COVID, and yet the XFL looks way better. Their look is better. The talent seems to be better.
They have celebrity advertising. They got The Rock backing it with buckloads of money, and he's the public face of it. So people who don't even care about football care about The Rock.
True.
But my thing is though, okay, say what you will about the XFL lasting a half a year. If COVID didn't happen, they were playing a full season. So I don't think that was up for debate. And before The Rock got involved, I still think if you take year one, even though it was COVID, COVID year, if you take the amount of games that the XFL played, you take it to the first, whatever games of the USFL season 1, I think the USFL was marginally better still before The Rock ever got involved. Like, attendances were better. I don't think there was, I don't.
Wait,
I still think the
XFL was better. They had better attendances, or the USFL was better.
Yeah, no. The XFL was way better in attendance than the USFL was. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, again, this is a whole other video, but I think there's a lot of similarities between the two.
Right.
But I think the differences are the attendance is far better in the XFL, and the quarterback play is a lot better in the XFL.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Because if you look at a lot of the people that led the league in the USFL last year, they all came from the XFL and they all went back to the XFL.
Fair enough.
You know who led the USFL last year in passing?
It was definitely. Was it Teabu?
It was Teabu, yeah, for Tampa.
One thing I was going to say is a little underrated is that guy is the Stallions quarterback, Magoo. He had another solid game, man, another rushing touchdown. He just leads that team. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and that's what you need out of your quarterback at these levels, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, you need someone that's going to be able to take charge and run with it, right?
He seems like a leader, plus he has amazing hair.
It seems like the players also prefer XFL because Luis Perez, who just won the XFL, I believe, he was with the Generals last year. So, like, You're not only losing players to the NFL, you're losing players to the XFL.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no, he was a part of that group that left the USFL and went back to the XFL.
Interesting. Yeah, he's definitely a journeyman. Dan, I'm going to let you kick off this NHL real quick while I run downstairs to grab our closing statements. The Dallas Stars forgot that there was a Game 6 going on. Even though they managed to survive those early games where we were saying don't get swept, they did oblige us and didn't get swept, and they won 2 games in a row. But yeah, they forgot to show up for Game 6, huh, Dan?
Yeah, no, I mean, like we were talking about last time, Game 4 was actually going on while we were recording last week. We had it on in the background, and we were talking about it. So, they tried to come back. Down 3-0 is a tall order to do. Very rare that we ever see it. And the fact that they went into Vegas to win those last 2, that's a tough thing to do. Like going into the visitors' den, and Vegas is a wild place to play. They have a lot of theatrics. People get into it as much as I can not stand Vegas Golden Knights. They're a pretty solid team, and then I felt good. I don't know about Taylor. I haven't checked on him lately.
I talked to him this morning. He's not happy.
Yeah, I felt pretty solid about heading into Game 6. You got it back in Dallas. Home fan, home cooking. And they were just nowhere to be seen. We let up 3 goals in the first period. And the first goal was scored like it's just about 3.5 minutes into the game.
Right.
So, I mean, pretty much by the end of the first period, that place was deflated. There's no energy in the building. And, once that happens, it's hard to get it back. And, they just couldn't get it back together,
What am I looking at here? Is this final? Is this playoffs?
This is the conference final.
Conference finals. So the winner, if Dallas won, it would have gone to Game 7. And since Vegas won, they're going to the finals now. But, the surprising part is, and we had talked about this with Taylor, the total shots they were very close in terms of shots on goal that game. Dallas just couldn't put anything away.
Yeah. So
it's not for a lack of chances. But when you have a hot hand, you have a hot hand. And I mean, if you look at the overall shot or totals of the game, it's pretty even across the board. Now, Vegas was made where it kind of stands out to me though is Vegas had double the block shots, and that shows up big time.
For sure. Direct quote from Mr. Seitz this morning. Direct quote from Mr. Seitz this morning was, Jake Ottinger has more holes than he can count.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. But yeah, no, you have guys laying down in front of shots. Like, talk about, football players and stuff doing weird stuff. I mean, imagine laying down in front of a puck going like 80, 90 miles an hour. Like it's nothing. So like those really come up big. That helps the shot count be down. If you're helping your goalie out, one less puck he has to save. So, I was expecting a much closer game, but we got what we got, right?
That Knights goalie must be good, man, because he was absolutely destroying Dallas throughout this series. They could not get it past him.
No, I mean whatever he had to turn back on, he found it. Now I'm excited for the finals.
Yeah.
I can't be too excited because Vegas is involved. But I think I was looking this up earlier and I haven't found it yet. But I went all the way back to like the 30s. I think this might be the first time that both teams facing each other, either team would have their first championship. Both teams have been to the finals once, and they both lost. So, I kind of like the fact that a team's going to win for the first time. It's always good for the sport.
For sure.
I believe. But that being said, I want Florida to win.
Absolutely. We're definitely decided with Florida on this one. Right, Corey?
Yeah. Fuck Vegas.
But yes, Florida Panthers will be headed to Vegas for Game 1 and Game 2. So they will be right on their toes right away. Hopefully they can get an away win to make this a little easier on them for the series. All right, boys. Does anyone have any closing statements they'd like to share with our fine people from Sports by Compian? That's fine. I will go ahead and get into it. I got the 5 Levels of Leadership here by John Maxwell. Quite a lovely book I've been reading here. It's about growing as a leader and such and all the things that it requires. But some of the good quotes I've been reading, one of them says, "A lot of things have to be right to climb to a higher level of leadership, but sometimes it takes only one thing going wrong for someone to fall." And I think that's a very powerful quote because, it takes a lot to be the type of leader that people buy into and want to follow and want to give that extra effort for. But, it takes just a couple bad moves for everyone to be like, this guy has no idea what he's doing. I have no interest in following him as a leader. Furthermore, one of the burdens of leadership is that we go as the people that we lead go. Reaching our potential sets an environment for others to reach theirs. So if you're in a leadership position, you're only going to be as good as the people you're leading. And you're only as good as the type of potential you can bring out of those people. So if you're a leader out there, know that you shouldn't look at your people as just numbers, as positions, or whatever it is. And you shouldn't be reminding them of what your position is to get the type of leadership, to get the kind of results you want out of them. Lead from the front, lead by example. Sports by Compian. Out!